I'm recording you asking me questions.
Yes. I'm going to record you recording me. Should be an interesting experiment.
Right.
So I'm here with Helen Royce, who's a community activist, and we're at the block party on Martin Street in Hartford. And Helen, talk about why you're here today.
Well, I've been a supporter of the Clean Slate Committee for years and years and years, i.e. I had my first job working at the Nyack prison eons ago, and I learned then, there but for the grace of God, that our criminal justice system really depends on how much money you can spend for a lawyer rather than any question of guilt or innocence. So I've been a supporter of the Clean Slate Committee. I'm still very active in the Hope Out Loud CCPJ group and working on justice for the people who are incarcerated is one of the many foundations of justice in this country.
What do you think about this format? In other words, it's a celebration, it's a block party, but it's also community organizing. Why do you think that is an important way to go about dealing with some of these issues in a neighborhood setting like this?
I think it's very important because people on a beautiful summer day have family things to attend to. They would like to take their kids to a picnic. They'd like to have a little bit of respite from the grim news of both their jobs and what they know is happening all around them. And the fact that that slogan, speaking truth to power, works. This was not a highly paid lobbyist who achieved this victory at the Capitol against all odds. It was, as I said to one of the organizers here, passion and persistence. You can't give up, and you have to use the democratic tools that you have, i.e. a free press, which, as we know, the commercial press is the opposite of free, but himc, WWH, Amy Goodman, and now Low Res provide an alternative way of getting the word out.
Great, thanks, Helen. Do you want to ask me anything about?
I'd like to ask you, why do you think this is such a key event to be?
Well, it's you know, I'll give you a media answer to that. How's that? I'll give you, from my perspective, you're probably not going to see any of the main TV channels here or radio stations here to cover this, and you know, this is the type of event that I try to find time to come to and cover, because this is the stuff that suffers when you talk about media conglomeration and all that junk that's going on. When media becomes a business, when news becomes a business, a money-making venture, it suffers, and especially local coverage like this really suffers. So part of my, what I see as my mission as part of HIMC and WWH and broadcasting on WESU in Middletown is getting stories like this out, because they aren't getting out there in sufficient detail. When they're out there, it's not in any
Kevin,
detail.
I want to interrupt.
All right, sorry, Helen. You'll have to edit me out later.
I think that we share the interest in the positives of Hartford.
Absolutely.
If you go to this neighborhood, just around the corner is a block party with the fire department saying this is the way you keep your home fireproof.
All right, I'm here with Marie Kirkley Bay, Executive Director of the Johnson Stewart Community Center on Martin Street. We're at the Martin Street Block Party for Clean Slate Committee. Talk a little bit about why you're here, why you're supporting this event.
Well, first of all, the Johnson Stewart Community Center was formed 4 years ago, and we had office space that we were offering to other nonprofits who were doing good things in the community and trying to help elevate the style of living and other things like that sort. We have Hope Street Ministries that runs out of here, Mothers United Against Violence, and we also run Boys and Girls Club for the kids that are in the neighborhood. So when Lorenzo and Larice came and saw me, and I talked to them, and I had known them both before, and asked if I had space for them to come here, I was more than happy to do it, because I know the quality of the work that they do.
And why do you think it's important to host an event like this, which is both a celebration of the victories that Clean Slate Committee has accomplished, but also community organizing, getting, keeping people aware of some of the issues that are to come?
Well, my background, I come out of community organizing. I went from community organizing to the city council. And I believe the way to empower people is to give them information, give them the facts, let them digest it, let them speak on what their beliefs are, and come up with a compromise that everybody can live with. And Clean Slate does an excellent job at doing that. And I think every now and then, you know, when you're living in a poorer neighborhood, you need to have things like this to just let your hair down, not have to worry about anything. We're feeding the kids today. Mom can get a little bit of rest if she can take the noise, and just be friends and get to know each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? So many people stay isolated in their house because Martin Street has had a reputation for being a very dangerous street to be on. You know, but we've helped alleviate that. We have the speed bumps. We're doing a lot of things. We have a camera on one of the buildings. So, you know, collectively we're trying to say to folks, we working together can make this neighborhood better.
Right, right. Now you're a member of the Connecticut legislature. Can you give us a sense of, you know, what is the attitude in the legislature about some of these issues? You know, 3 strikes or shifting drug policy to more education versus incarceration. What is going on in the state government on these issues?
There was an excellent article in the paper yesterday, and I don't mean excellent in what it conveyed. It conveyed that several security guards and inmates are fighting and hurting each other in very violent ways because of the overcrowding that are in the prison system. And I think that many of the laws that are on the books with regard to drugs are very unfair to youth. There's the 1,500-foot rule. You're within 1,500 feet of 3 entities. The only place you're not that in the city of Hartford, by that I mean within 1,500 feet,
right,
is the landfill in Brainerd field. That's it. So our kids automatically get an additional 3 years just because of that. So we're trying to do something to make it 500 feet. And when the schools are closed, it doesn't count because you're not then trying to deal drugs to a child.
Right, right.
And so I'm working with Clean Slate on that, and we're looking, you know, we're very happy about the crack and powder cocaine. We were immensely happy about the medicinal marijuana, but the governor wouldn't sign it. So we're thinking about bringing it back with a little bit more support and a little bit more people who have started buying into this, and hopefully maybe she'll soften her feelings about it. But the thing is, to get the seeds, you know, the federal government says you can't get them legally, and that's the barrier that she has.
Right.
You know, but they get them everywhere anyway. I mean, they're finding all kinds of places in Connecticut and all over the country where people are growing marijuana.
Right.
And they're doing it for sale. You know, not for medicinal reasons.
Right.
And we're saying that people who are chronically ill, many of them say this is the only thing that provides them with the opportunity, one, to be less painful, and to have a little bit, it stimulates their appetite, so they eat a little bit better. And that's very important when you have that kind of an illness.
Right, right. Well, thanks so much for talking to me today.
Oh, my pleasure. Have a blessed day and enjoy yourself at Johnson Stewart.
Thank you.
You're welcome.